Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I wanted to talk about Africa for a second. I know that there is there are a lot of questions people have had about my recent trip to Ghana. I took a diplomatic mission to Ghana where I'm all about action, and basically I got together with a bunch of other Black businessmen, billionaire Mike Roberts, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Greg Jackson, who's an auto dealer out of Detroit, as well as some computer scientists and some other business people to go there and establish an understanding of Ghana and trade relationships in Ghana, as well as opportunities for us to engage in cross-cultural trade in a way that's going to benefit us. And I want to sort of explain the reason why I felt the need to do this. The biggest thing I wanted to really help everybody understand is that going to Africa does not mean you're letting go of America. Going to Africa does not mean that you can't still be ADOS, you can't still be FBA, you can't still be DOAS, you can't still be African American, because being African American is uniquely, that is your experience, that's you, that's who you are, and it's okay to be who you are and still be connected to something else. You can have both things, you don't have to make a choice, right? So that's the first thing that's very important to understand, because a lot of people, I think, feel that in any way connecting with Africa is a bad thing, that we don't win if we connect to Africa, that somehow the Africans are going to benefit and we're going to lose. And I think that sort of competitive thinking is not so good. That might be what you might call crabs in a barrel, because there's no reason for me to fight with another Black person across the sea. I think that we can all win by standing together. That's my belief. That's my conclusion. And so if you want to know why I wanted to go to Africa, another reason is that when you establish trade, that's different from charity. Charity is, I'm going to go and I'm going to give you a bunch of money. I'm going to go help you out, and you're giving nothing to me. That doesn't benefit anybody. That doesn't, it drains you, and it also disables the people that you're doing charity for. There's a whole documentary on Netflix called Poverty Inc. that actually talks about how charity has actually harmed a lot of third world countries and developing nations. And so actually I wasn't going to Africa to do charity. I was actually going to Africa to do trade, to take a look at the labor base, which I thought was actually quite extraordinary, to take a look at some of the resources, which were pretty amazing, business opportunities, etc. Make some political contacts, make some business contacts. I talked to some brothers on the street. I talked to people that worked in the hood. I talked to people at all levels. We went and talked to the hotel staff, found out how much money they made. We went to the streets to find out what products are being made. We talked to politicians all the way up to the president of Ghana. We went to his office and tried to meet him. We didn't get a chance to actually see the president of Ghana because he was meeting with the president of Guinea at the same time. But I met extensively with the lawyer for the president of Ghana, as well as some other people. So we went all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, to try to get a feel for what was going on there in ways that we can not just help out, but the way they can help us, right? So a few things I want to lay out for you guys in terms of really making sure that you can thoroughly understand what's really going on here, and how to kind of respond. I know that there's some people that may, for rightful reasons, that have questions like, oh, you're just going to Africa because you're just trying to go over here and do that. And I'm going to kind of give you 4 quick reasons why, why there are people, Black people, which doesn't honestly make a lot of sense to me, but there are Black people who are vehemently against us connecting with Africa. They want us to connect with Europe, but they don't want us to connect to Africa. They're okay with connecting with Asia, but they don't like Africa. They like South America, but they don't like Africa. And I'm gonna give you 4 quick reasons why. Number one is, they don't like Africa because nobody likes Africa, right? The American media has gone out of its way to destroy all images of Africa, to make Africa look as undesirable as it can possibly be, and to actually convince you that you should be thankful for being in America. If you remember, the rapper Soulja Boy a long time ago actually said that he gives props to slave masters for bringing him to America so that he would have, jewelry and gold and ice and all that stuff. He literally said that a few years ago. So media propaganda is heavily biased against Africa and any dark country in the world. And so a lot of us don't like Africa because that's what we saw on TV. The second thing is the educational system. You learn a lot about American history, but you learn nothing about African history. You learn a lot about European history, but you learn nothing about ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, Kush, what happened in West Africa, East Africa. Most Black people in America cannot even name 5 African countries. Do a test. Go to a Black person. The next time you hear somebody criticize Africa, I want you to go ask them, say, give me the names of 5 African countries, or give me 10 African countries. There's 55, I think. I think there's 55 or 54, depending on which official total you look at. But ask them to name 10. 10 African countries. Most Black people can't do that. But if you ask them to name, 5 or 6 countries in Europe, they can do that. right? They can, oh, Italy, France, Spain, Denmark, Norway, right? They can do that. Germany, they know all of that, but they don't know anything about Africa because that's not really taught. The third reason why a lot of people don't have a big issue with Africa, just almost get mad about Africa just because is it's almost like an abusive relationship. When an abuser wants to abuse a woman, one of the things an abusive man will do, these are one of the symptoms. My wife, that to be is a therapist on this. One of the things an abuser does is they disconnect you from your power base. They figure out which people are going to stand up for you, and they disconnect you from those people. They move you away from your mother, your brother, your father, your cousins that might kick his ass for beating you up. They move you away from all the people that might support you and protect you. And then they tell you bad things about those people so that you won't ever want to go around them anymore. So I believe that in order to keep African Americans weak and docile and begging and believing that white people are your only hope, they disconnect you from Africa. Think about this. You've got people that are in the political infrastructure that really believe that the best way for black people to get ahead is to get white people to change the laws. That we're waiting for white people to give us reparations. We're waiting for white people to elect a Democrat. We're waiting for white people to pass a bill. And effectively, we end up looking very weak. We don't have any money. We don't have any true economic power. We can't go build a building. We can't build a school system. Everything comes back to begging for the government to do things for you. And the government doesn't do things for black people. So the disconnecting of you from your power base is a strategy to keep you oppressed. An oppressive individual or an oppressive group or an oppressive system will always work to disconnect you from your power base because once you get connected to your power base, then you can actually compete. Africa is our power base. It's the richest continent on the earth in terms of resources. You got $3 trillion worth of GDP, which is actually a very low number. It should actually be higher than 10, 15 trillion, which I believe that it will be within this generation because Africa actually has the youngest median population on earth. They have the greatest number of young people on the planet, which means that they have the greatest potential in terms of productivity of any country, any continent on earth, in addition to the most resources. You know about the diamonds and the gold and the bauxite, just all these different, the oil, everything else that's there. It's kind of amazing. Fourth thing I would throw out here is this. Most black people who diss Africa have never been to Africa. And that's a big, huge gaping hole. Most of them have never been. And if they've been, it was like a layover. I stopped at the airport. I was there for 2 days. They haven't gone there and visited, say, 4 countries, 5 countries. Even I've been to South Africa, Botswana, Nigeria, and Ghana. And I still have not gone to most countries in Africa. I've gone to 4 out of 55. That is a big gap. That's a big knowledge gap that I'm trying to fulfill. I'm reading things, I'm trying to learn things, trying to figure things out. There's some things you cannot learn in a book. You guys know I was a college professor for 25 years. I still am. I teach in the Black Business School. We have over 80,000 students, about 83,000 now, something like that, all around the world, including parts of Africa. And and I still teach and I'm still learning, but I don't know everything. And the thing is that there's a lot of stuff that we as Black people were never given knowledge about, information we were not privy to. Things that could actually change the game for us very quickly. But what we have to do is make sure, look, I'm not trying to tell you what to believe about certain people's propaganda. If people want to know if I ever see any of the derogatory remarks people made about the trip to Africa, I think I saw some of the stuff. I didn't watch any of the videos because I don't have time for nonsense. But I do know that there are doubts. I do know that there's fear. I do know that there's concern. I know that Black people are afraid of Black people. I know that Black people are trained to hate Black people. Black people are trained to criticize Black people. Black people are trained to attack Black people before we attack white people, right? For example, for every time I see a video criticizing a Black person, I'm always wondering where the videos criticizing Popeye's Chicken for, grabbing $100 million out of the Black community. I don't know if you guys know, Popeye's Chicken, literally when they released the chicken sandwich, they went out and they got another $750 million in additional funding because their chicken sandwich campaign was so powerful that they need additional capital in order to keep making more chicken sandwiches so that they can keep making more money from Black people. So, I think that talking about what white supremacy is doing to us will be a little bit more productive, but you can't change that. You can't change 400 years of slave culture in a day. What I can do is try to lay out a narrative that will help you in terms of making your own decision. I say, don't believe me, make your own decision. I don't believe them, make your own decision. Do your own research, come to your own conclusion. Once you do that, then I think you'll be free. The truth will set you free, but the truth will come from knowledge, firsthand information, and the truth will come from your instincts and from God. That's what I believe will be your truth. And that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. That's why I did this short video. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I am going to do more stuff in Africa, a lot of stuff in Africa. We were so excited. My son was super excited. He might even move there. I can't move there because I'm getting married in July. In Chicago in 2020, you guys are all invited. But I am going to go back and forth to Africa quite a bit. I've got a lot of countries to visit, a lot of people to talk to, and a lot of information to bring back. And I'm trying to make investment connections for those of you that are interested in building things, because this is just something that's really eye-opening. I think there's a lot that we can do in America and around the world. And here's the deal. Look, if you build all around the globe, then you're not stuck if Donald Trump decides to come in and burn down your Black Wall Street. You'll have Black Wall Streets all over the planet, and they can't burn them all down. So that's my strategy. That's my belief. That's my solution. I hope that it convinces you a little bit. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Just feel free to write it down and add it to your arsenal of ideas so that you can make the best decision for your family. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. By the way, if you want to check out our educational program, our wealth building program for children, you can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. I think that's a great gift for your kids because it's a gift that's going to keep on giving. It's going to last forever. And I think I have no doubt that you're going to be happy. In fact, I know you're going to be happy because if you're not happy, you can email us and we'll give you your money back. Okay, so feel free to check out blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Give your kids a head start so they can learn how to build empires because not every Black child is built to be oppressed. We train ourselves to be oppressed. I really do believe that, and we got to stop that. We got to change that narrative. So hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe. I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Have a good day. See you soon.